Hello everyone and welcome back to Revisiting the MCU series, where I turn back the clock and revisit every single MCU movie in release order, leading up to the epic finale where we will re-rank the MCU from worst to best, or I guess rank for the first time because I've never done it. But today we are talking about the final standalone Iron Man film, Iron Man 3. Now, as I've said before, Iron Man is not my favorite Avenger by a long shot, but I really tried to watch this movie with an open mind, and I still didn't like it. I didn't like it when I first saw it. I didn't like it again after rewatch. I really tried. I tried to put all my biases away. I tried to let it all go, and I just wanted to watch the movie and purely enjoy it. And it still fell pretty flat. But before we get into what I thought was negative about it, let's first talk about the movie and try and delve up something positive to say. This is the first MCU film post-Avengers and sees Tony Stark dealing with the trauma of the attack on New York, and once again dealing with the demons from his past. Certainly is a theme with him, isn't it? Even so, to the point where his demons come after the Avengers later, a bit of a one-trick pony if you ask me. Anyway, first let's talk about what I liked. I liked that Tony felt human for all about 5 minutes of this movie, as he had anxiety attacks and fears manifest from the attack on New York. I liked that those types of flaws lived inside of him. It was very much needed after having to listen to his constant god complex and arrogance for 3 movies. I also like the house party protocol, in which we get to see various adaptations and marks of his suits come to life and come to assist him when needed. Rhodey was also a bright spot in this for me, as he was in the last film. I just like Don Cheadle and his Rhodey, War Machine, Iron Patriot character. It's just a lot of fun and great to see a more human character bounce off of Tony. And that's unfortunately pretty much where the majority of the pros end for me. The rest I just think is pretty god-awful. The Christmas theme just never fully set in and was very forced. But it was also directed by Shane Black, and that guy's more obsessed with putting Christmas in his movies than anything else. And don't even get me started on the Mandarin. Both versions of him. First was the big reveal of Ben Kingsley being an actor. I thought this was total BS. And then Guy Pearce being the real Mandarin was also BS, because their powers and things that they were able to achieve with AIM, though cool in theory, just looked kind of stupid with the superheating and stuff. And to make matters worse, they end up giving it to Pepper, who saves the day. And they shoehorn in that everything is okay at the end, and they just explain Tony figured out how to get rid of the condition. They took out the shrapnel from his heart and he destroys all his suits, basically trying to end Iron Man. But we all know that this was major BS, as he would be back. This movie really just makes me mad, honestly. I was really trying to give it another shot. I didn't like it the first time I watched it. I really wanted to like it and think that, you know what, this is a better movie than Iron Man 2. And I was back and forth between putting Iron Man 2 over Iron Man 3 and vice versa, but I think I have to put it lower. I know that it's a very controversial opinion, and we'll get to all that once we actually rank everything at the end of this series. But for the most part, I just didn't like it. It's just frustrating from beginning to end. It doesn't feel like Iron Man, other than his sort of existential crisis that he's going through and his panic attacks. That part, like I said, I enjoyed because it felt human. It felt like a character that we saw a little bit of in the first Iron Man. He was concerned about the things he was putting into the world, and he was trying to fix it. And I think that seeing that sort of PTSD from Tony was more beneficial than the fact that he just has a bunch of stuff and he can fix every problem. It just doesn't add anything to his character, and it just made this story mean nothing to me in the end, because by the end of this movie, even going into Avengers 2, we're all back to normal. Tony's still Iron Man. All these things are still happening. Nothing has changed, even though they tried to make us think it was ending, or the fact that he wasn't going to be Iron Man anymore. And it was all just a lie. The whole Mandarin thing was a lie. This movie just sucks. I didn't like it. To make a long story short, this movie just committed way more sins than the previous one. I didn't like it. Clearly, I think I've hammered that in however long this video is. But I want to hear from you guys what you think about Iron Man 3. Where does it rank on your list? Do you think it's better than Iron Man 2? Do you think it's worse? Where does it rank in your Iron Man movies in general? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section down below. And while you're down there, be sure to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell notification so you don't miss out on any future videos, including this Revisiting the MCU series, where we'll be talking about every single MCU movie in release order. And at the end, we'll rank them, like I mentioned from before, from worst to best. So don't miss out on any of that. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you in the next video. Hopefully the next video will be less exhausting.